happening, friends of CCP Podcasting Productions? Welcome back to Behind the Curtain Rivalries. I am Chris Page, and the man over here, well, you can see him a little bit, his little pictures there. But that's Eric the Lariat Steele. What's happening, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Too blessed to be stressed. How about yourself?
I'm starting to enjoy these early Saturday morning chats about old school professional wrestling. That it's turning into my what was it? What was the old WCW Saturday morning show? Did you say it was like Worldwide or some shit?
Worldwide,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's my own version of worldwide. I can't complain one bit. I definitely enjoy our times talking about old school professional wrestling, and it just seems to bring a lot of people together. If this is the first time on the channel for you guys, welcome aboard. And if you've been here, you've subscribed for a lengthy period, or you see everything we're doing, we're glad to have you back. We've got a good rivalry show today, and as you can see, the graphic on the screen, we're talking Roddy Piper and Buddy Rose from Pacific Northwest Wrestling, aka Portland Wrestling. Eric, you and I covered Portland on a territory show that did really well on the channel. So it seemed fitting for us when we talked about doing rivalries and looking at territory rivalries. Like Rose and Piper just seemed like a no-brainer. It just seemed like it was bound to happen, and here we are, man. Because these two guys kind of revolutionized Pacific Northwest and kept that territory up and moving for a hot minute.
Yeah, Buddy Rose is actually the reason the Portland footage is still around.
Hmm.
Um, back in the day, you had a master tape that you would record your shows on, and those things were expensive. They were like $400 or $500 a piece. Uh, I mean, you do the math, do the homework. That's a couple $1,000s in today's money if you're thinking about it for one tape. A lot of guys, a lot of promoters just kept re-recording over the same tape. But Buddy Rose had a system set up. He would record all the TVs at his home when they came on. So he's the reason that a lot of the Portland television footage is around. Buddy Rose here lately with, Tales from the Territory on Vice. He started to get some of those flowers that he deserves. But man, that dude was good. And he was influential in my career, like watching him when I first started wrestling.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me what
So,
about what about Buddy influenced you?
So I was not aware of Buddy Rose like when I broke into the business. Now I started training at 16, wrestling at 17. My man Scotty McGeer, I've talked about before. Talk about him a lot. And the Portland Territories episode turned me on to Portland. I was a big kid. I had my hair bleached white, and I did before I was Eric the Lariat. I was Mr. Sex Appeal, Eric Steele, and I had the bleached white hair. I had the robe. And he said, "Oh man, you remind me of Buddy Rose because I was a hefty boy back then too." So he turned me on to Portland, and I saw Buddy Rose, and I said, "Man, like this guy's good." The only time I'd ever seen Buddy Rose before was, some old WWF when he was on the blowaway diet. You
Hmm.
know, Vince does not like heavy people, so he got made fun of for being fat. But then when I saw Playboy Buddy Rose, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I worked a lot like Playboy Buddy Rose back in the day, and he was just influential in my in-ring style, my character, in the early days of Mr. Sex Appeal.
I'm gonna tell you this. You know, I feel truly that Buddy Rose is an unsung hero of professional wrestling. When it comes to, especially when it comes to territory wrestling, because he as a villain, he knew how to push the buttons. He
Oh
knew
yeah,
he just, and he was so fucking good at it, and better than most. And I feel like maybe it was always wrong time, wrong place. Because to me, it's a crying shame that he never got a run as NWA World Champion. And I know some people, when they hear that, they're going to scoff and say, "What? No, we'll just go back and seriously look at this guy's work.
oh yeah,
Watch
he was a great heel, great worker. He had a run in AWA. Him and Doug Summers working with
sure."
Sean and Marty. Well,
Hmm.
that's one of the most memorable matches from AWA, honestly, nowadays. Uh, Big feud, man. Dude was a great worker. His stuff with Piper was so good.
I mean, we're gonna get into it too, man. I think I was telling you off air. One of my favorite uh, pictures I've seen of Buddy was in the T-shirt that says "I worked hard for this body." Because I'm a big boy and I can appreciate the big boy body. So to work and put in that kind of work to get it was just great. And the fact that he embraced it and would go out with with the t-shirt on to the ring, like it was good shit. It's how else can you turn something on a crowd than by literally flipping the only thing that they're talking about?
Yeah, you know what they say: if you got it, flaunt it. And Buddy Rose was not ashamed of flaunting it. It's funny you mentioned him, not getting a shot as NWA World Champion. I mean, we could talk about guys all day long that weren't NWA World Champion
Sure.
that we feel should have been. Buddy Rose did get a couple shots. He actually faced Harley Race in Portland one time in '77 for the NWA World Title.
Nice. See, I didn't know that. I want to see if I can pull that footage.
Yeah.
Future watch along right there. Uh, you mentioned earlier about when he traveled to the AWA to do to run the tag stuff with the Midnight Rockers. I totally and I think this is something that you and I need to do versus me and John or me and Todrick is sit down and watch a couple of those or do a rivalry show and watch a couple of those matches back. The Bloody War for
Oh
the
yeah.
champion and the steel cage match. Like there's just so much stuff that this guy did that has Buddy attached to in some form or fashion, and even in some cases today, his impression is still left on the industry. Um, and something else we were talking about is kind of like every good villain's got to have a really good baby face, but in this situation, Piper was heel and he had to turn to get to the program with Buddy. Does that sound about right?
So Piper was, he's a heel. Imagine that Roddy Piper is a heel. And he turned babyface and started the feud with Buddy Rose. Yeah, I mean, if you got two super hot heels, in a small territory with a small roster, you can only have one top heel. You're not running two towns a night. You only got room for one at the top. So, what better way to turn them, make more money than turn them babyface?
I mean, and it obviously proved to be a decent decision to make, considering the money that these two would go on to draw together across from the ring from each other, from singles matches to different tag matches and all points in between.
Yeah. And I mean, they had some great stuff together. Piper was involved with his feud with he had Rose's Army, and he feuded with Rick Martel and Roddy Piper for a long time. Uh, so Buddy Rose actually won the Pacific Northwest title, Portland title, in '79, beating Stan the Man Stasiak. That's a name you don't hear a lot. Sean Stasiak's dad. Sean Stasiak used to follow him on Instagram. I don't know if he still does or not. But he beat Stasiak to win the title, and he defended it against guys like Piper, Ron Bass, King Parsons, and he finally lost it to Martel in 1980. And he was after Martel, and Martel had to enlist Piper to be his partner, and that kind of spun into Piper and Martel feuding with the Sheepherders, who were part of Rose's Army. We circled back around to Rose winning the title back from Martel. And after he followed that, he defeated Roddy Piper in his loser leaves town match. And that's when Piper went to JCP. And then Piper, eventually made his return and started this big, long feud with Rose, leading to a series of hair versus hair matches. Apparently Buddy Rose was shaving the head of half the people in the territory, and then Piper comes back. They have their big feud, and eventually Piper beats Buddy Rose and shaves those beautiful golden locks.
Man, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I tried to find that match. Didn't happen. Wasn't out there. Couldn't track it down. Uh, I think that Roddy Piper is. I mean, Roddy gets his flowers all the time, and he's such a
Yeah.
tremendous piece of talent. It was such a great interview. He was really good in the ring, and again, like through our series of Behind the Curtain, I was you had turned me on to that really great Piper promo where he busted the beer bottle over his head, and that was in Portland, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and it just if I wasn't a fan, I was then. Because I mean, dude just embodied the spirit of professional wrestling, and just there's just so many different things that Roddy was capable of and was doing, uh, up until this point, and I'm just so stoked to see that he had this top run here with Buddy Rose, and that kind of puts a little icing on the cake, is because while professional wrestling is discussed at length, you don't really hear a lot about Buddy Rose. So
Yeah, and I think that's a shame,
exactly, and this is why it's just like this makes this so much better for me. It makes me that much more excited about it, is because we are talking about a guy in Buddy Rose who did do a lot for the business, and he didn't have that top run. Uh, but you talk about feuds, you have to talk about this one with Piper, and then the one you alluded to with the Midnight Rockers in the AWA. And I'm sure Matt Bourne in Portland. There's a lot of different things that a lot of different people that Buddy been in the ring with, but for him not to be discussed at length is kind of tragic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the guy was a great talker, great worker, and a heat magnet, man. A heat magnet.
I think we should jump into one of these. That's a fun fact. We have two matches that we're going to watch today with you guys. I think we should jump into this first one. Uh, I don't know where in this series or this rivalry this match falls in. Eric, is the 10-minute one. It's the one I DM'd. Take a peek at this one, and then let's talk about it. And we've got their Portland title match, their Lumberjack match that we'll kind of finish off with as we close the episode down here in just a little bit. If that's all right with you, Mr. Eric.
Yes, sir. That sounds good to me.
Are you ready? You got this one pulled up? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm sitting through an ad right now.
Okay, let me know when you're ready, and then I will hit play and count us in. And in the meantime, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and down below, click that like, click that subscribe. We're definitely on the move to 500. Eric and I vow that once we hit 500 subscribers, that we will put ourselves through the torture of watching the worst pay-per-view ever fucking made. And that's the Legends of Wrestling. I don't know if we're going to do it all, if we're going to have time to do it in one sitting, if we're going to have to break it up and do it in maybe 2 weeks, but that is our promise. We will torture ourselves just to watch Tully Blanchard and Stanley for 500 subscribers.
Oh,
you ready to go? You got through your ad yet?
yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, so I got Buddy Rose walking to the ring with a guy in a karate gi.
Yep.
And he's got him
Really quick with those two guys.
like, oh, we got a instant replay.
Yeah, down on the crossbody. I like it.
10,000 wrestling fans on hand, so I won't take a lot of your
So
time.
that was just a little piece, right? Of some of the storytelling. Now you told me that was towards the end, so if that was one of the final matches between the two, it seems fitting that that Piper, since he was the baby face for the run, would get that win there. But what you saw here was a piece of the storytelling that these two could do, and the dance that they could have. And the crowd was definitely into it from the opening bell.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like a revisit of the feud. I may be mistaken. If you're a Portland expert, I'm not an expert by any means. I enjoyed it, but if you're a Portland expert, if I'm wrong, correct me. I think that was kind of like a revisit for the Super Show. Because Piper was already in WWF, becoming a big star in '85. He was already a big star. You know what I mean? Like national star in '85. So I think it's just kind of like a revisit of their old feud.
When they, I'm going to ask you this, and you may not have an answer, and if you don't, it's fine. throughout the rivalry between Buddy Rose and Roddy Piper, are there any moments that stick out to you as a fan?
Man, I mean, you got to think Buddy Rose getting his head shaved and the blow off, like just that hair is so iconic, you know. And I mean, you know, obviously Buddy Rose didn't achieve the same success level as Ric Flair, but in Portland he was as big as Flair, if not bigger, in Portland. So, you know, that's Portland's Ric Flair getting his head shaved. Just imagine seeing Ric Flair get his head shaved, what that would be like. You know, it's kind of on that level in Portland.
Yeah, it's like I think Austin Idol in Memphis took Jerry's hair.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
it's kind of a big deal. I'm just so stoked at what both of these guys went on to do after this. You know, again, Rose didn't. I don't really talk about his WWF run. I thought it was a joke, and
yeah,
I don't think that that's how you portray anybody really. Like, so I wasn't a big fan. I really think when I think Buddy Rose, I think territory stuff all day, every day, because that was him at his peak and in his prime, and he had more control over what you're doing and what they were doing on television. So he was, you know, he was able to show that he could get over, and goddamn did he get over. And the same can be said for Piper when they were in the peak of this program in Portland. You know, it was red fucking hot.
yeah.
There's no denying that. They did tremendous numbers and drew really good money for Portland.
Yeah, anytime I think of Buddy Rose, I automatically think of his Portland stuff. And you talking about his WWF stuff? He was, you know, he wrestled at WrestleMania 1. He was under a mask, wrestled Tito Santana. He was the executioner. But that reminds me of a story, man. I completely forgot about it until we started talking about Buddy Rose. So when I first broke in, you know, indie wrestling, there's this guy around here, man. He was a real carny. He called himself the Freebird Buddy Rose. So there was Buddy Roberts, who was in the Freebirds, and then there was the Playboy Buddy Rose, two completely different guys. They looked a little bit similar. So this guy had kind of like, you know, he had the beer belly, he had a mullet, and he had it bleached white. And he tried to say that he would alternate. Like he would get his stories mixed up. One time he's telling a story about something that was happened for Buddy Roberts, saying that it was him. And then he'd be telling a story about Buddy Rose, saying that that was him. And, you know, I just, like, I knew this guy was such an outlaw, carny goof. And, you know, like, normally, you know, you got to be respectful. You got to pay your dues and keep quiet. But we're at this one town, and he pulls out these boots he's about to put on. He's getting dressed for his match. He pulls these boots out, and he puts them on the counter, and he goes, give them from him. He goes, these boots saw WrestleMania 1. And another guy there, he was, you know, he was still pretty green too. He's like, oh, really? He was like, yep, worked Tito Santana. I said, well, that's funny. I just watched WrestleMania 1 the other day, and the executioner, who you're saying that you wore black and white wingtip boots, not solid white boots. The guy looked like I had just shattered his entire world by saying that. And he was like, and he said, I'm telling you, these boots saw WrestleMania 1. I said, well, my boots would see WrestleMania 1 if I had them on watching the tape. But I don't. And then he got so hot, man. And he went and told the promoter, and the promoter just died laughing. He was like, he's right.
A fucking mess.
And like, at first he wanted to fight me, but you know, I mean, this guy's older, he's out of shape, and I'm 18 at this time. And I was like I wasn't state champion, but was a 3-time placer in wrestling in the States. And so like he wanted to fight me, but I think he also knew that he might get embarrassed. So he just kind of huffed and puffed, and I never saw him after that again. So
I guess he went back to WrestleMania 1, but I don't know.
He hopped in his time machine and went back to WrestleMania 1.
Them boots, they're made for walking. He walked his ass all the way back to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. I was like, come on, man.
Dude, that's not okay. I'm so
Don told you about
Look,
Don
you run into people. There's a guy that tried to act like he was Matt Bourne. He did a doink gimmick. He would tell Matt Bourne stories like it was him. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
This is stupid written across our foreheads? I mean,
yeah,
I guess.
like we know that wasn't you.
Yeah. Well, the next match that I got for us, bud, it's the Rose Piper. It's that Lumberjack match. I think this is going to be more garnered into the meat of their feud back in Portland when they were both there full time. So whenever you're ready, if you've got it queued up or if you need a minute, go right ahead. We can hop on this one.
Yeah, I got it ready. This one is actually from 1979, so this would have been, prime Buddy Rose right here.
Let's fucking go. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm ready for this one.
All right.
I
Got a little tracking going on here.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first one if you got the chance to take a look at it. It was towards the end. This one's the one that's kind of like, it's the money shot. It's the one that I really
This is the meat and the potatoes of the feud. Now, I'm pretty sure this is Dutch Savage right here in the shirt. I might be wrong. It kind of looks like Dutch Savage from what I can remember. I'm not sure who the guy is with the little stash and blonde hair in front. Shirtless. I think that's Colonel De Beers before he was Colonel De Beers. So you see how their fans here, the Lumberjacks? Like a lot of times back in the day, to make a little bit of extra cash, they would sell raffle tickets.
Yeah.
And then they do the raffle kind of like a 50-50, so they would sell separate raffle tickets to be a lumberjack. Look at the drip of this guy ring announcing.
106.
Introducing first
9.
the blue
10.
trunks.
All right, you're a couple ahead of me. I'm at 1:10 now. Yeah, like I was saying, look at the drip of this ring announcer.
I mean,
that's got to be like a velvet or suede polo, showing the hamburger meat with the gold chain. Look at yeah. Look at Buddy Rose. It's the trim Buddy Rose.
yeah, slim and trim.
Look how little Piper is.
Another special rule. It was Rose's idea. They both signed a contract. Mr. Elton Owens had it notarized. This will be one fall, Mr. Barr, to a finish. Now, introducing the
I guess
champion.
this is back. They were doing 2 out of 3 falls.
From
Yeah.
Scotland, at 251 pounds, Roddy Piper.
Hot
Look, Piper looks like he's about to be in a movie, man. That hair slicked back like that. Looks like a young Christian Slater.
And he's going to have some help on this one. Stasiak, Matt Bourne. We mentioned Adonis and Star.
We got all kinds of who's who on that floor right now. I've heard Adrian
Yeah.
Adonis. I've heard Matt Bourne.
Stasiak.
Stan Stasiak.
And
Yeah.
the opportunity, the showing of the
And
Pacific
then,
Coast
you
title
probably got a couple fans out there, too, just to...
to the challenger. So
Better hope the
Wiskowski
wrong
is down
one
at
doesn't pull
ringside.
around.
That is Playboy Buddy Rose's partner and his wrestler.
We ran that gimmick a couple times too, man.
Special rules lumberjack match.
Selling raffles for lumberjacks,
That's the most common name for it.
Normally a lumberjack strap match. The lumberjacks have belts,
Man tries to get out of the
and
ring, he will be thrown back in. There's no
the heel always gets the short end of the stick, and has to take a couple bumps out to the crowd and take a couple licks,
of the coming back of Mantel and
I
Stasiak.
hope they
We've
swing
gotten
high.
behind on
Look,
commercial breaks
look,
at the end of
we were doing it one time, and I was the heel.
couple of breaks.
So I come out and cut a promo, telling the crowd nobody better buy a ticket. You can't hit me, blah blah blah. And of course that's going to hype him up more. And there was one guy sitting in the back, and he's just like not getting into it. And then I started making fun of his shirt, telling him how it looked like a Freddy Krueger sweater.
Young men
And this guy got hot about that shirt. And he jumped up,
going at it, and for
and like he was just he didn't say nothing. He just jumped up out of his seat and started storming right towards me. And he reaches behind his back, and I think he's about to like pull out a knife or something. he whipped out his wallet. He pulled out a $50 bill and said, "My GD daughter bought me this shirt." Threw his $50 in the bucket. And I said, "Make sure that guy does not get a ticket." I said, that guy cannot get drawn. He will kill me.
Don't give him a strap.
Yeah, he'll put it around my neck.
Classic confrontation so far. Back on, I believe it
Here
was
we
the 8th,
go.
the first
Early
Tuesday
go.
of
I
the month.
think
I
I always like the plaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
just
always
saying
like the
that,
plaid
yeah.
tights.
Yeah.
Like, man, he should have wore those more.
This might be the granddaddy of all of them. Brooks not on hand. Piper, if you want to call
I'm
it
just-
that, call it
Talking about Killer Tim
disadvantage,
Brooks.
because Rose has his partner. Wiskowski at ringside. All the other wrestlers are at ringside.
I'm just seeing
Watching
all
the match,
the
first of all.
clothes in the
Oh,
background.
man.
I can't.
From 79. Look at this.
I think I seen Wayne Campbell from Wayne's World back in Sacramento. You see him?
I don't see it, man. I'm looking. Oh, with the trucker hat.
Yes.
Yeah, he got the Amish beard going though.
Oh, I couldn't see the beard. I
And
see the
Wiskowski tripped.
the
Wiskowski
fuckery
reached
begins.
Oh, yep. That was nice.
Grabbed the
That's
foot
good
of
heel move,
Piper. He fell forward and Rose.
Oh, yeah,
after
that's-
him.
Skowski is probably more commonly known as Colonel De Beers. People remember Colonel De Beers.
Mhm.
The whip hard into the
Oh.
corner goes Piper. I'll tell you, that one hurts up here.
This is definitely prime
Up
Buddy
to the middle
Rose.
of the
He's
ring,
slim
the
and
challenger.
trim.
Trying
Yep.
to get that Pacific Coast
you know,
Championship.
He's never the smallest guy to begin with, but he's in really good shape.
Yeah, they said I've listened to stories about Buddy Rose. They said he should be able to go an hour, no problem.
A headlock
I'm
from
not a
behind,
fan of his
Playboy Buddy
He-Man bowl
Rose.
cut. Not a fan.
By the power of Grayskull, he will beat you.
Oh man,
He's got him down
He is
on the
putting
mat
Piper
with
to
it.
sleep.
he is. He's got a cinched in. Piper's gonna start firing up here, I think. Yep. It's
Crowd's
a
getting
nice
into it.
small too.
Sitting
For
position.
Yeah.
he would become right. Like,
Roddy
Yeah, I
Piper.
mean Piper was he had a time where he was big, but Piper was always compared to everybody else. Piper was normally kind of a small guy,
Sharing
Mhm.
for Roddy Piper.
Like his big run with Hogan, he was big. But after he had his retirement match with Adrian Adonis, I think it was WrestleMania 3, he was kind of smaller when he came back. He was lean in the 90s when he had like that run with Bret Hart and the Mountie and stuff. But he was never very big again,
Yeah, he was a little bit smaller when he popped up in WCW in 96.
Yeah.
And had that
Yeah.
deal with Hogan through 97, 98.
Stasiak says somebody else needs you, and circling
Rose is
around the
working,
other side
and you see,
are
like,
Starr
here's
and
what I like.
Adonis.
This is like what I like about psychology with Buddy Rose. He's going right back to the sleeper, snap
And now,
there-ish
Stasiak
situation,
is
Yeah.
taking up
but
a
he's
position
snapping
in that
Piper
corner.
towards
And I
his
don't
partner
think
in the
Wiskowski's
corner.
going to
Yeah.
want to move him.
Yeah.
He is down on the
And it's
mat
just
in that
small
corner.
stuff. It's not like,
He
oh,
is
this
going
ain't
to
something in
try
the
to
back right there.
Yeah, it's the small stuff that look, he's putting those hips into him,
Yeah.
Look, the Yeti. I will put Halloween Havoc 95 up there with Legends of Wrestling.
We would totally have to live stream that one because we don't
Yeah.
get the YouTube
All the
boys,
wrestlers
but God,
around the
how
ring.
funny.
But I tell you what, I remember renting that pay-per-view when I was like 10 years old, and I was so into it. I thought it was so awesome when I was 10,
Mhm.
Got his foot on
I-
the ropes. No rope break. Lumberjack match, I'm guessing.
Corner so that Wiskowski cannot be there.
For a lumberjack match, they haven't. Neither one of them have been out to the floor yet, for real.
Yeah.
So that's
So they're probably saving that for like a big comeback spot or something, working the whole gimmick.
Stasiak sees that there is no one at all across the way, so he moves the other direction.
Way to stall that announcer.
Trying to have
Yeah.
a couple men on each side.
Piper takes him down there. Oh, pull of the hair.
Oh, yeah. I'll say you're just a little bit ahead of me.
He was put to
Oh,
the
pulled it right back into the chin lock.
Yep, I'm at 9:14. 9:14.
All right.
Correct.
Buckle treatment for Piper.
All right.
Now he is
Takes him
taken
across
across
the
the ring all
Head
the
first
way.
into the buckle.
Slammed into that top turnbuckle.
Yeah, now I'm a little bit behind you again. Piper's
And
kicking him.
again, Stasiak circling.
He ain't having it.
As was
But yeah, you're talking about the little stuff, man.
Piper.
Oh, there
Like
it
it's so
goes.
important. It's so important.
Wiskowski
Oh, yeah, I just saw him throw him
grabbing
out.
by the hair and putting him
So I'm
back
just a little
in.
bit behind you.
You're fine.
And
You're talking about the
Wiskowski
little
again
stuff, you know,
pushing
like
him back in.
people don't think about how important little stuff is now. So anytime I go to like training session, like I'm gonna help some people train or something, the first thing I have the new guys do is lock up. If they don't lock up right, we're starting from the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
A count of 2 and almost 3.
Rose there with a near
Rose on
fall.
Piper.
Piper's
Yeah.
Piper's trying to get after.
Looked out and
I'm gonna
took
call
a
him De
wild
Beers.
swing at Wiskowski.
Yeah.
A minute ago was
Wiskowski.
grabbing Piper by the
yeah,
hair,
he
throwing
was
him back into
all
the
about
ring.
double teaming there just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Set up
Oh, that's
for
gonna
a
be
backbreaker.
beautiful.
It's
No.
a sit-out backbreaker.
He got him with an atomic drop.
Body press by the challenger Rose.
Oh, they got to sit out backbreaker.
Flail kicks off
He did.
again.
Near
And
fall.
Wiskowski yelling at the referee. Says,
I'm
"Go, 1, 2,
wondering
3."
maybe if I don't know. It's again, I didn't see it, but I'm wondering if
He
this
got
is
2 seconds.
if Rose
That's
picks
all
up
he
the
was-
belt here.
All he had. Piper comes back
Oh,
with a
nice
big
shot.
swing.
Look how Piper's selling, man.
Insert,
People
trying
don't
to shake it off.
like
Off the ropes with a wicked
people
right
don't
cross.
sell being tired either,
From
you know?
halfway across the
No,
ring.
not anymore because it's it's just that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Like there was this series of they were kind of like shoot interviews.
The third
I can't remember what they called them, but they were
followed the
basically
fourth,
like
if you
shoot
want to.
interviews,
Oh
but they were
my
telling
God.
you,
Match when this feud
You just
started.
almost
Oh,
backdrop Piper out of the fucking ring.
Oh,
Say the fourth
right.
position
yeah,
and
I just saw that. I was a little bit
rough
behind you.
struggle.
But there are these series of shoot interviews, but instead of like, you know, talking about the history of wrestling,
So much so.
they pretty much told you how to work, you know, like taught you how to work. And there's one with Dusty Rhodes, Al Snow, Raven, and somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But man, like, I learned so much just listening to those, you know. Oh, nice roll up.
Got a count of 2.
And Raven was the one talking about how you have to sell that you're tired. He's like, this is an athletic endeavor. So, you know, if you're going full out 10 minutes, you may not be blowed up for real.
Would say Rose
Well, you
was
need
the
to sell that you're
upper
tired
hand.
because you just put everything you had into it in 10 minutes.
Dealt out.
You know?
Yeah.
But Piper is a man
No
who can
doubt.
take well, both of these fellas are.
So I remember I'd be selling, being tired, and I'd come back through the curtain and they'd be like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like,
Rose falling out.
I'm sorry, man. Just went 12 minutes, and I'm a big guy. I'm not supposed to be
Yeah.
not.
Rose wants to
Jesus.
Yeah, like,
I
I should be 30.
Oh, look at him.
Look.
You're going to see it in a second. Just haul Buddy Rose back in the
yeah.
ring.
Oh, man. Look, now he's trying to get the baby faces. I love it. Look at this. He's trying to get out of here. I love it. Oh, man, he just slid him on his face across the mat. There's Rick Martel.
Stasiak, Star, and Bourne moving
Is that
in.
Mantel or Martel?
Martel. Oh, this
Oh, look, he's throwing a fit now.
Wild-eyed Scotsman.
Listen to the crowd, man.
Yes, dude. They're here for it.
There. Flying foot stomp.
Oh, this is what I
Oh.
like
Watch out
firing
for
up.
the Scotsman. Woo. He unloaded
Big
that
knee lift.
time, man. Rose wants to get out.
Oh, look how
You
he's selling it,
see what
too.
Oh
happened.
yeah, dude. This is it, man. This is
Star.
He's trying to get out.
how can you not enjoy fucking Playboy Buddy Rose and Roddy Piper? How can you not?
Look at him.
You
Look
wanna
how they
know
just
what?
carried him in the ring, man. That was awesome.
Mantel.
At least keep throwing him out. Oh, man. That was a big bump over the top.
Star. Wiskowski.
Yep, you called it. They were saving it for
Yeah.
the stretch, and here it is. Piper into a
Buddy
cover.
Rose trying to get out.
Oh, that's Mantel. Yeah, I think it's Ken Mantel.
Rose slips his feet out on the
Just
apron.
shove his feet
Star
back in
pushes
the
him
ring. Nah,
back.
bitch.
You ain't getting out of here.
Not today.
Quick left jab. Lightning left. And
Look
a
at Piper
combination
bringing
throw
his boxing
by
jabs
Piper.
in.
Covers the challenger with a body
Near
press.
fall
Gets the
for
count of
Piper.
about 2 and 9/10 seconds. That was awfully close to putting it away. Drop kick missed.
Dude, I'm loving this
Buddy
match.
Rose.
Yeah.
I'm loving this
match.
match.
Oh, look at that.
Grabbing the ropes. Stopping
Big missed
short.
drop kick. Hold on to the ropes.
Piper missed the drop kick and went to the mat. Hard.
What's Buddy
I might
thinking
add.
here now?
They're in the corner. Coming out of it.
Oh,
Rose headlong into the
counter by Piper.
corner.
It's
Yep.
Rose who eats
He
them
had
buckles.
a headlock. He was going to try to take Piper into that corner. Piper
Simple
stopped
but
short.
effective
Now
psychology.
Piper comes back with a kick out of the
I mean,
corner.
you know, like
Now,
people back then, and they
Nash
were
up on his
still
shoulders. Is he
believing.
gonna go for the airplane
So they didn't
spin?
have to do a million
The
moves to make them think it
old-timer.
was
He
cool. Oh,
is.
what's
He
he gonna
shoots
do?
the
Is it airplane spin?
Big
Very
airplane spin.
seldom seen. But Roddy Piper
Oh my
going
God.
for it. Now dumped to the mat.
And you never see an airplane spin anymore.
And
Every now and
he
then.
put
Just
him
dump
away,
him.
but he's too dizzy to follow him
Every
up.
now
He's
and
not
then I'll
used to
see
that
one.
old himself.
The last time I saw one,
Over the inert body of
I
Rose.
remember I watched it. Like I wasn't
Count
even
of
in the
2.
Ring of Honor at the time,
He
but I
throws
watched
him
it.
off it.
I think it was Homicide and Bryan Danielson. I might be wrong, but the finish of the match was an airplane spin where they did a 100 rotations, and they just dropped the guy and pinned him.
Oh, buddy.
Thrown
Why didn't you
outside
see that
the
lower
ring.
back shot
Now
there
Piper
on
hauled
that apron?
outside by Rose.
Oh, yeah, that hurt.
Right.
Battles
Ouch.
Look,
outside
it didn't even
the
stop.
ring.
He's pulling Piper right out.
Going around the wrestlers, coming around. They're
No,
saying,
but
what
he's
do
gonna
we...
be feeling that one in about 30.
They
Oh, yeah.
step in and break
For
it
sure.
up.
Wait till that adrenaline wears off.
Trying to get Bourne
You're
back
riding
into the
home.
ring.
In that long ride
Piper
home.
is back in. Rose, watch out. Wiskowski is in the ring.
Oh, I heard Portland was one of the areas,
Wiskowski
like
is
the
in the ring,
trips
standing
between
on his
towns wasn't all
back.
that bad,
It's
you
Bourne.
know?
And the referee just saw this guy in the ring.
Yeah.
And
Wiskowski is in
has
the
done
ring,
nothing.
laying it on Piper. While Rose is fighting.
I think he's trying to act like he didn't see him, you know?
He's looking. He just looked at him again.
Oh my gosh.
Killer, bad news.
He's like, hey, what's going on?
With his dog chain.
Oh,
This
Killer
place
Tim
is
Brooks.
going wild.
Look at this guy. This guy looks like somebody that would eat you for breakfast, man. Like, I would not want to mess with Tim Brooks. Look at him.
Rose is thrown back in.
Oh, we have a finish.
Oh, nice.
The winner in a
I got maybe it's no DQ, you know. It's
melee.
Look at-
And still
Oh, he does it again.
champion.
Dropped another one.
Roddy
Listen to that
Piper.
crowd go
Brooks
ape shit for this guy.
oh
throws the
man.
referee out of the way.
Yeah.
Rose Wiskowski out of the ring, and it tosses Rose out.
Oh my gosh.
Bad news.
Boy, Wiskowski goes out of the
Brooks
ring.
with good news.
Oh my gosh.
All right, that is
Capacity
a
crowd raising the roof at the Portland Sports Arena.
Piper retains.
he does, man.
Apparently,
Man, see, this is
Arriving
exactly
late.
why I love fucking territory wrestling.
Oh
dude.
man. They
I
are super
mean-
into it too.
What was not to be into there?
I know.
mean, and just think, like, that's just a piece of what these guys did throughout, several years worth of work. It's just a sample.
Yeah. Imagine how hot they got when Buddy Rose won, you know?
That's why I was like, well, I don't, because I don't know the exact history, but I was like, what if he did pick it up here? 'Cause I'm a fan more than I am anything else at this point. And they were fucking going.
They were into it, man. Like, that was good stuff.
I'm just saying, Roddy Piper and Buddy Rose were two pieces of talent that were born to work together.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. They were just born to work together. They made
They clicked, man. They had chemistry. They clicked for sure.
What do you think, as far as like maybe your opinion on the legacy that Piper and Rose had on Pacific Northwest?
When I think Pacific Northwest, when I think Portland, I'm automatically thinking Buddy Rose, and I'm automatically thinking Roddy Piper. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe, people who grew up watching Portland all the time, they may think of somebody different. I mean, there's other guys I think of, but those are the first two names I think of. It's the two biggest stars from Portland wrestling.
I think these two cats were just peanut butter and jelly. I enjoyed.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed their psychology. I enjoyed their work. I really enjoy some of the promos, and as we evolve our show here, like we'll be able to work some promo work in and stuff like that to help build tell the story and build the stage for what we're doing on the show. But man, I enjoy it. I love sitting back and talking about it, seeing that lumberjack match. Man, it just reminds me how much I just dig fucking territory wrestling. Could you
I
imagine
know
if
you just
that
gotta
was
let
on a
yourself
what'd you say?
like get into it, man. I said you just gotta let yourself get into it. Like wrestling fans are so jaded nowadays, which don't get me wrong, like I've been there. I've been jaded about this stuff before, but man, when you just watch these old territory shows, you can just let yourself get into it. Like there's nothing like it.
It's fucking it's the be all end all to me as far as professional wrestling is concerned. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man. What do you want? You got anything to say before we tie a bow on this one?
I just want to thank everybody for watching the channel. Like, subscribe so we can get to that 500 and watch the Legends of Wrestling.
Dun dun dun. Next rivalry show, 2 weeks. We're gonna talk about the Mega Powers. Isn't that right? Isn't that what we want to do
No,
next?
I want to save the Mega Powers for August 19th. That's my birthday. And
Okay.
why not? What better way than to talk about what I think is probably the best or second best storyline in WWF history?
Sure, we can do that on that point. At that point, so we're gonna throw a Twitter poll up. That's what we'll do to see what we're gonna talk about on the next rivalry show. Make your voice heard. Let us know. And if you got a rivalry from the old territory days that you think we need to take a look at, drop it in the comment below. We'll take a peek at it. And as Eric said, our road to 500 is underway. We are definitely picking up some momentum and picking up some steam. And really and truly, we have you guys to thank for all that. And we do that on a daily with the content that we drop. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. I tend to try and respond to everybody within 24 to 48 hours, give or take. If you're available on Monday and Thursday nights, catch us on the live stream on Twitch. Links down below. Discord's down below. Early drops in Discord. There's all kinds of shit that we're doing on this channel. Eric and I are here every weekend talking rivalries and territories. It's just going to be incredible stuff, and there's a lot of other things coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned. For Eric the Lariat Steele, I am Chris Page. We will see you next week for rivalries on. We're going to revisit Smoky Mountain Wrestling next week. So we'll see you then. Have a good one.